Gotta see if the sound and everything is clear. Thank you, love. Oh dang. We're about to start in a few minutes. Okay. Since the sound is good, first and foremost, I'm gonna give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Akakodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders, a great millstone who rule well and teach well through the Spirit. Mighty Shalom to the hopeful elect in the same Spirit. Lord willing as a whole that y'all continue in sound doctrine and in the same Spirit. Shalom to the Akwat believers of His faith and His truth. Lord willing you continue to pursue your lot, which is being a loving and silent and virtuous wife. And Lord willing the most have mercy on the other brothers and sisters that is not in the faith. You see the title. Um, I keep going into faith, especially what happened last night. Videos that I came across, even though I didn't get to watch those, but faith, faith, faith. And of course, watching the TV show Chosen, The Chosen, um, The Chosen, and, you know, having different kind of conversations with brothers, it brought me to this title. Your faith is going to make you a target, or our faith make us a target for the left-hand side, right? When I'm talking about in the spirit, which Ephesians 6 and 12 is something serious, right? Our battle is not a physical battle, it's a spiritual battle, which we get the full effect physically what we get to see, especially dealing with nations and people, but it's really of the spirit, because all these things is orchestrated in the heavens, right? And Lord willing, we can bring out different points in history, in the Bible, points of Yahweh Shai, right? Because your faith is not just what I'm talking about, being afflicted, but when it comes to the ministry, right? What you believe. You believe in reincarnation. Some people not gonna believe in that, right? You believe Yahweh Shai had other lives. So when Yahweh Shai died on the cross, he died for his own sins and even of the children of Israel. People be like, wait, hold on, Yahweh Shai didn't sin? Then that must mean you don't believe in reincarnation, right? Your faith is going to be tested, right? In multiple examples. It could be, and I'm just speaking facts. It could be a woman that come across family that, because I've seen it before, where a family member will be like, man, you don't love yourself. And you're like, wait, why? Because you allowing your man to be with another woman. Then that might bother your faith in your mind, and you be like, wait, hold on, do I love myself? You know, you can't allow somebody to interrupt your faith, because it's all about what thus saith the Lord. If the Lord say what you can do, we do it. The things that we can't do, we can't do. You know, because the Lord said it, right? And we know certain things is expedient, right? You don't want you to counter your judgment, because if we don't believe in this whole volume of this book, right? You gotta examine yourself. Maybe I'm not in the faith because I don't believe in everything that's in the word, right? You have to, when it comes to faith, don't just only think of only this topic. Think about faith as the volume of this book. I believe, just like this lady asked on TikTok, so you believe in the Lord that allowed, you know, those she bears to eat all 42 of them children. You believe that all those massacres the Lord allowed. You believe the Lord gave the earth to the hands of the wicked, right? We got to believe in those things, right? So you don't want to alter your judgment and your faith, and you don't want somebody else. But the one thing we want to do is to examine what is being taught so that we're not following anything false, right? So I have notes on my tablet that I got back here. It's too much to be having in my lap. I have 3 pages, Lord willing, we can go through 3 different points. I'm kind of basically still in a point from Apostle Gabar. 3 different points. This title, this point, I mean, all 3 of them are not 3 different titles. It's just handling 3 different points, right? This is dealing with James chapter 1, verse 2 to 4, but 3 is the main point. And I'm going to read them in the KJV and the NLT. This is dealing with James chapter 1, verse 6 to 8. And we're going to deal with verse 8. And we're going to read them all I think NLT, just to keep it straight to the point. And this is dealing with their loyalty is divided between the Most High and the world. They are unstable in everything they do. Basically, a double-minded man or woman. Right? The water. Lord willing, the same for you. And the last point is dealing with James chapter 1, verse 22 to 25. But 22 is really the point that I wanted to deal with. And I'm going to read this in the KJV and the NLT. We're going to eat as much as we can off the bone, right? And the point is, don't just listen to the Most High's word. You must do what it says. Otherwise, you are only fooling yourself, right? And each segment has key scriptures that we're going to deal with. This one has 9. The other one has 10. And the first one has 8. Lord willing, we just deal with the precepts I got. I know me, sometimes I'll talk and I'll even add more. So it's just all up to Yahweh Shem Al Shai. It's a good time of the day. It's 10:28. Even though I got out of work at 8 a.m. Lord willing, we can do this in an efficient time and that you're edified. And after this, you can always double up in your faith. So before I get to James, because I'm thinking in my head, what would I start with? So let's just start with this. I'm going to go to the classic directly for the children of Israel. This is Matthew chapter 1, and I'm going to just read verse 20. It says, "But while he thought on these things, which is Joseph, behold, the angel of Yahweh Shemashai appeared unto him in a dream, saying, Joseph, thou son of David, fear not to take unto thee Mary thy wife, for that which is conceived in her is of the Ruach HaKodesh." Now, of course, we got to have faith. I'm not really trying to go into the birth to take you somewhere else, but this is something you have to believe. Why is he having a thought about putting away his wife? Because before the ceremony, Joseph and Mary got it in. The seed is already planted. And that's one thing, the seed is already planted. They got busy. He was gonna make her make it public, because back then when you lay with somebody, you had to show that you took their virginity by the blanket or the cloth or the towel. He did not do that. So how did she have a child? And it wasn't by no angel, because every man on the earth has the same beginning and end. So he died like a man on a cross, bloodshed and all of that. But he didn't come in the world through sex. Yes, he did, right? So let's keep dealing with the main point. So she's going to, for that which is conceived in her is of the Ruach HaKodesh. And she shall bring forth a son, and thou shalt call his name Yahushai, which Yahushai means what it's about to say. For he shall save his people from their sins. Right? Who is his people? Because it's not saying peoples. Right? Yahushai is from the tribe of Judah. Right? Let me get this. What is it? This is Romans chapter 1, verse 3. It says, concerning his son, Yahushua HaMashiach, our Lord, which was made of the seed of David according to the flesh. In the Greek, it goes into sperma. Sperma goes into offspring. So if he's the seed, he's sperma. He came from sperm. So Yahushua is from the seed of David through the loins, really talking about from descendant to descendant to descendant, because it was already prophesied in old time that that righteous branch was going to come out the loins of David, right? This whole thing in life is all about Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. So we starting this lesson off dealing with Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, right? So for those that can get it, you can get it. For those that don't, hey, may the force be with you, right? So I think I'm about to go to Hebrews, and then we're going to go straight into James, right? Because it's impossible to please the Lord, right, without faith. This is Hebrews, the 7th chapter, in verse 14. For it is evident that our Lord sprang out of Judah, of which tribe Moses spake nothing concerning priesthood. Now, we can see indicate that Joseph is of the lineage of David. And we see the Pharisees saying, isn't this is the son of the carpenter and the woman, the mother Mary? So even the Pharisees knew that he was a descendant or a child of Mary and Joseph. So in this side, this is why this is strange to us. This is why this teaching would be strange to us. This is Revelations chapter 11, verse 11. And after 3 days and a half, the spirit of life from the Most High entered into them, and they stood upon their feet, and great fear fell upon them which saw them, right? So 3.5 days is going into 350 years. We had no wisdom, knowledge, or understanding, but then the Lord put that breath of life in us just like he did Adam. Now, starting with the men, they're standing bold in front of those that have afflicted them. Wisdom of Solomon, the 5th chapter, verse 1. Go read it. So now this truth had been out for 56 years, approximately. Now we're in a time where Psalms 33 and 3, we're singing a new song because the world don't know this song, right? It's confusing. But if you are of the elect, if you are of that cloth of faith, you're going to get it, right? The brother Buck said, hey, can you read Hebrews after this, where it talks about God is the perfect high priest? I mean, Yahushai is a God, but he's not the God, right? Yahushai is who it's talking about. It's not talking about Yahweh. It depends on which one you want, bro. Yeah, we just gonna keep it in the motion. Just know, just to not saying you wrong or anything. You could be wrong if you're talking about the Most High. But when it's talking about the perfect high priest in Hebrews, it's speaking about Yahweh Shai, because that's under the order of Melchizedek, right? And all praise to Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. I just went over this with my household. And we just read what we just read in Hebrews 7 and 14, especially going into Genesis 49, that Judah would be a lawgiver, right? But Moses didn't teach uh, that Judah was going to be a lawgiver, or he was going to be of the priesthood, because really it was the priest that was giving forth the law. But under Yahweh Shai, now the 12 tribes is a royal priesthood, right? Under the order of Melchizedek, right? But let's keep on going, man. So we dealing with faith. That's why I just wanted to start off with Yahweh Shai. He's saving his people from sin, showing that Yahweh Shai is from the tribe of Judah. I was quoting the point that Joseph and Mary lay with each other because Romans 1 and 3, he is a seed, the seed of David. You can't be a sperma, a seed, or an offspring without sex, right? Then we went to Revelations 11 and 11. Everything that's said, especially about Yahushai, is not the Most High. He is the Son of the Most High. The birth, the Lord is only dealing with Israelites. That's why I went to Revelations 11 and 11, just to show that the Israelites was dead in the lowest state. And for the other nations to try to say the other nations can get this salvation, the other nations have never been woken. So when we go into Revelations 11, 7 down to 11, that's only speaking about Israelites. Because only the Israelites was walking in the law, statutes, and commandments, and then their heritage got removed from them, from walking away from this law and in their land. No other nation, right? So now, let's deal with faith, right? So let's get to this point. Again, Lord willing, y'all was understanding why I went there. Because the main point is having faith in Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, right? But this is James chapter 1, starting at verse 2, and the NLT, not KJV. It says, "My brethren, count it all joy when ye fall into diverse temptations, knowing this, that the trying of your faith worketh patience," right? Just going into me just saying that Joseph and Mary laid with each other, that some people that's new beginners in this thing, your faith is going to be tried. But are you going to endure to the end and get the understanding? Are you going to do what the people of Berea did? Have a readiness of mind? Search the scriptures daily to see if it was so? Look up the homology of words, right? Because we don't want no division when it comes to this truth. And that is an example, right, of your faith being tested. But then you have other examples: persecution, right? People coming at you, man, you a false prophet, da 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 da. Yo, sometimes us being in the flesh, you can start getting nervous and getting scared, and then you might feel like, you know what, I don't want to do this. Then you see on YouTube people talking about Hebrew Israelites, and you're like, dang, man, they talking about them, but I'm not with them. But now it's pointing to me. Your faith can be target in multiple examples, right? Verse 4, it says, "But let patience have a perfect work, that ye may be perfect, entire, wanting nothing." Now in the NLT, verse 2, it says, "Dear brothers and sisters, when troubles come your way, consider it an opportunity for great joy," right? This is an opportunity of great joy when your faith, right, when you start to get into troubles when it comes to this faith, it's great opportunities. Salaki. It says, "For you know that when your faith is tested, your endurance has a chance to change." That's the point, right? For you know that when your faith is tested, your endurance has a chance to grow, right? And guess what? This is all a test period. This is all a test period. This moment now, the little things you go through, the middle things you go through, is leading into ushering in the hour of temptation, the MOTB, Jacob's trouble, where you might not have your Bible in your hand. You might be moving and dashing, right? Your faith gonna be tested, right? Women, your faith is tested. you know, especially you, how the Lord built you as a emotional vessel. You gotta conquer yourself because your flesh, and that's another thing, not having this truth and being taught for 300, you've been programmed into another system, in another culture. So certain things that could be taught, you might not agree because it's your flesh. You're not looking at the standpoint of Yahweh Shem Shai. Again, your faith can be tested in multiple ways. You could be around your family and demons can be on them and they could be afflicting you with their problems. Or then they adding you into their problems and then you overwhelm. You trying to give them a suggestion and then they start targeting you. Then you start be getting heated and then you're like, oh man, I need a drink, or I need to smoke, or I need to do this, instead of separating yourself or building yourself to have strength where nothing can penetrate it, right? So again, for you know that when your faith is tested, your endurance has a chance to grow. So let it grow, for when your endurance is fully developed, you will be perfect and complete, needing nothing, right? So let your endurance grow. Then that means the more it grow, your endurance grow, your faith grow, the more it cannot be penetrated by the left hand. You can see things for what they is, shrug your shoulder and keep it moving. You have to overcome you. You have to overcome this world. Yahweh Shai is the example. He overcame the world, but even before he got beamed up to the Father, he was already overcome. He didn't slip in sin. We have to master our flesh. You're gonna slip and fall, but you can see that you grow in some ways. When you slip and make a mistake, you might sin, and guess what? You get up and you start to repent. You start to rebuke that thought. You start to rebuke those actions, right? Try to get on fire for the Lord, right? You might start fasting. You might start analyzing your weakness and trying to do the opposite of those things, men and women, right? So, Lord, willing, that makes sense. So let it grow. For when your endurance is fully developed, you will be perfect and complete, needing nothing. Only thing you're going to need, right? What it say? The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. You're not going to want for things of this world, right? To cope, like, oh, I need a blunt to calm down. No, you really need Yahweh Shai. Now you afflicting yourself with this thing and consuming toxins in a wrong way. You know, we have to, well, those of heavy laden, we got to put it upon Yahweh Shai, right? Um, I see I got a note right here where I might try to read these other precepts I got here in the KJV and NLT. I want us to take as much as we can, because I know, Jake, you deal with what you deal with in this faith, right? This walk in all different angles. Me as a man, the number one is where people try to debunk. They write on the comment section after your video, they saying this, or then you watching you watching the elders and apostles, but then you see brothers is doing lessons about another camp said this, and then you hearing them, and the next thing you know, they start talking about the apostles, trying to diss the apostles and all their minions. And you be like, wait, hold on. If they talking about apostles, they talking about us. And then y'all teach this, or oh, you teach that you going to have superpowers. And then you start thinking like, dang, I believe we going to have superpowers. You know what? Now I got to do a lesson on it. But again, you know, a lot of these lessons be reassurance for myself and assurance for y'all too, right? Because if I'm not keep going over the same lesson, I'm going to be said, do I really believe in it? You know? If Jake not teach, if I'm not teaching all the time, like throughout the week, right? Am I really serious? Am I on fire for the Lord? Right? It could be times where I'm taking a break, not like a break from the Lord, but I'm taking a break from running my mouth. I might just read, or I might just watch something that, like watching Chosen or something that's spiritual, right? To get me excited, to give me a spiritual thrill where I'm jumping in the Bible and I want to go teach, right? You always want to sharpen your faith. Another camp, you a Hebrew Israelite, another camp. Me individually, I am not another camp, but yes, if you saying me individually, like me as a person, This is not another camp as a new camp, right? I'm under a branch. I am part of a sect. I am affiliate of that sect, right? So ain't no new. I don't want anything new. I don't want to do anything new at all over here, Mr. Knight, right? But this is Romans chapter 5, verse 3 and 4 in the KJV. It says, not only so, but we glory in tribulations also, knowing that tribulation worketh patience, right? That patience is that endurance, your endurance to continue to keep going. Yeah, yeah, okay. Yeah, I mentioned another camp teaching something that could be contrary against what sound doctrine is, right? Or changing the doctrine that you ain't gonna have. You're not gonna, when the kingdom come, you're not gonna be immortal, right? Some people faith can draw and be like, wait, maybe we're not gonna be immortal. They bringing out this, they bringing out that, but they're not analyzing it. Instead of being what is it called? What is it called? Gurgitating, or like a damn bird. They just re-saying what somebody else say instead of evaluating, doing research, right? Trying to dig deep into it, right? To make sure that they ain't following something that's not lining up with sound doctrine. And patience and experience hope. And hope maketh not ashamed, because the love of the Most High is shed abroad in our hearts and our mind by the Ruach Hakodesh, which is given unto us. And is only given to those that believe. If you truly believe, you're believing in the name Yahweh Shemel Shai. You're not believing in none of these other names. You're believing that you have to teach in the name. You have to believe that you are a Hebrew Israelite, right? You have to believe that that we still should be establishing the law, statutes, and commandments in our household and in our communities, right? You have to believe in the prophecies and that the other nations cannot get salvation, but they will be a part of the kingdom as servants, and so on and so on, right? So let's read this real quick in the NLT. It says, we can rejoice too when we run into problems and trials. So when you deal with suffering or scoffing, right? Somebody scoffing or contradicting the word, you got to answer it. And then you answer it. Then, like I seen it before, where somebody would get on a live and then they bring a contention. And it's all about edification. If you don't get it and we don't agree, keep it moving. Remove the person, block them from the YouTube. They made a whole nother YouTube just to get on and do it again. You got a whole job to scoff, but why don't you make a YouTube and then you do your lessons? Guess what? You go on that person's channel, they ain't doing no lessons on anything brought up, right? And it's different levels of problems and trials. I just use that as an example, right? When the MOTV come, that is going to be a problem and a trial of your faith. Jacob Trouble, seeing all the chaos. Hey, the Lord might not send food the first day or the second day, right? He might send it 3 days later, or he might send it the first day, and then 3 days later, you might not get food. Are you going to say, oh, I don't want to walk in this thing no more? Oh, man, I don't believe in the Lord no more. That is a problem in a test of your faith, right? Verse 4, it says, right, again, those trials, for we know that they help us develop endurance, right? Those problems and trials is going to help develop patience. And endurance develops strength of character, and character strengthens our confident hope of salvation, right? You want your character as a man in this faith, a daughter in this faith, right? You want it to be builded up. Like lessons, like probably months ago, where I did a lesson on maximize your faith, or Revelations 14 and 12, KJV NLT, maintain your faith in Yahweh Shai. That's why I brought out certain things about Yahweh Shai. We have to maintain our faith in Yahweh Shai. I believe Joseph and Mary had sex. Maintain my faith on that. I go through the precepts to see that this is real, right? Maintain your faith that Yahweh Shai was spoken of in the Old Testament. He didn't probably say his name, right? But it gave out points. Who was that angel in Exodus 23 that was guiding Israel? Who was that rock that Moses smote, what we see in 1 Corinthians 10. You have to believe that the role of Yahweh Shai, right? The person said, I'm not a Hebrew Israelite, neither are you. You are African. I don't go by African because you can't say I'm African. Same as I descend from triracial black, white, and Indian, Cherokee. No. Y'all spread hate. No one going to serve you and kiss your feet. Hey, thou sayest, right now we serve Esau, the so-called white man. Now, through the spirit, we kiss their foot by what it says in Deuteronomy. You can go to your adversary for hunger and thirst, right? We kissing them to get food and clothes. Without cotton or slavery with the cotton, none of us would never have none of these fabrics, no Jordan. You wouldn't have no jobs on this side if they didn't create them. So through the spirit, you kissing them. Again, uh, you said Hebrew Israelites, or you're African, or whatever the heck you say that you is. All these names on this side that came from your oppressor. But let's not even deal with that. If I believe the Bible is real, it's only 18 nations on the earth. So why ain't nobody called the nations that they are on the earth? Oh, I will believe that you might not even know prophecy, but that's okay. That's neither here nor there, right? Somebody that's watching this, go click on Mr. Knight's channel and go see if you see some videos, man. Lessons on who are the Israelites and who is this and who is that. I'm gonna just read this real quick because again, this goes with faith. This is 2nd Ezra chapter 2, verse 7. It says, "Let them be scattered abroad among the heathen. Let their names be put out of the earth, for they have despised my covenant." And this was Ezra speaking about Israelites, and Ezra was an Israelite. And he said that their name was going to be put out the earth. What was the names of the Israelites? Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. Not Maurice and the Kimbo. No, your nationality was the name to identify who you was. Just like Edomites, that name is removed out the earth because Esau changed his name, right? When he was in the Caucasus Mountain after Rome fell, he called his name Caucasian. It's a mountain called Caucasus. That's where they got Caucasian. European because the bottomless pit in Revelations 12, Revelations 11, right? What is it? No, Revelations 20, right? The bottomless pit is Europe. Pit means land. 2nd Ezra, the 5th chapter, verse 24. Pit is a land. Bottomless is because it's unbearing and it's unfruitful. That's Europe, you know? But the Israelites, their name was removed. Jeremiah 17:4, Isaiah 65:15, right? The Lord shows that he removed our heritage, which is our land. Every nation on the earth got their own land. When we look in scriptures, Africa is not the homeland. Jerusalem is, which is in the New Testament, right? So even when we go in the New Testament, they knew who Israelites was, right? I got a book in the house called Babylon and Timbuktu. Before the Europeans got in power, all nations went by nations and tribal names. So that debunks you, because and another thing in history, the Europeans is the first nation, or when they got into power, where they pushed people to move by color, white and black. That's in history. And who took over Europe? The so-called white man and woman, because the Romans were Edomites, Idumeans, right? Herod was an Idumean. The Caesars was an Idumean, right? History shows it. It backs it up. And those are the same ones that fled to the mountain. So again, flawed. Nobody oppressed us, still own my land. Hey, thou sayest, right? I know my tribe's name. What's yours? Right? My tribe is Judah. But again, go make a video, right? All praise to Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. But what do my teachers always say? Can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me? It's like it, when, can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me? It's like when I'm doing camp, the phone don't get as hot as it do. Um, I don't know why. My car is cool, but when I'm at camp, the phone don't get hot. Yeah, I think it's probably because the phone is getting hot. But you said it's in and out better now. Okay, I'm gonna try to make. I don't know why it does this, but when I'm at camp, the phone be cool. So don't mind him, ladies and gentlemen. It was still edifying. So now let's hurry up and hop to First Peter chapter 6. If the phone get hot again, what I'll do is I'll just mute the mic and I'll turn on the AC real quick. I don't know why it do that. But this is First Peter chapter 1 verse 6. Um I'll uh I'll just go straight into NLT just for time's sake. It says, so be truthfully glad, there is wonderful joy ahead, even though you have to endure many trials for a little while. These trials will show that your faith is genuine, right? These trials, these suffering, especially in the time that we in now, like when you got to keep awakening, you got to go to work, right? Being a servant, right? This man said he's not conquered, whatever the heck he's talking about. But who's in your dollar bill? Even if you go to another nation, why ain't our people on money, right? Jake don't think that we were supposed to rule the earth, right? They say, oh, you ain't gonna have servants, but guess what? Everybody under Esau is a servant. So every other kingdom on the earth can have servants, but because the so-called black, Latino, and native say that they're gonna have servants in the kingdom, that's wrong. But every nation on the earth that ruled had servants. And a servant don't necessarily, like back when slavery began, somebody in your house giving you food. Guess what? Another servant could be somebody that's working on your field or your land. All of us is working on this land. Some of us are getting 9 to 5 full-time jobs and they're taking taxes out your check. Even celebrities getting taxes out their money. If they don't pay taxes, they get a penalty. When you paying taxes, that means you giving tribute. Who the hell you giving tribute to? If you giving tribute, you are conquered. No excuses, right? That goes back to if you don't have faith, you gonna do what Mr. Knight did, right? And I ain't talking about Brian McKnight. This is First Peter chapter 1 verse 7 in NLT. These trials show that your faith is genuine. It is being tested as fire tests in purified gold. Though your faith is far more precious than mere gold, so when your faith remains strong through many trials, it will bring you much praise and glory and honor on the day Yahweh Shai HaMashiach is revealed um, to the whole world. Right? I think it's this chapter. I could be wrong. Right? I'm gonna go to Second Peter chapter 2 verse 1, because just dealing with faith, you want to work hard. This is 2 Peter chapter 1, verse 10 in the NLT. So, dear brothers and sisters, work hard to prove that you are really among those the Most High had called and chosen. Do these things and you will never fall away, right? Those that are going to work hard is those of the faith, right? Those that are true descendants of Abraham is those that have faith in Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. Everybody is not going to have faith in Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. Just like we just seen that Pokemon collector, that dude that was just on, right? He don't have faith. Let alone the Lord don't tell us to argue and go back and forth. You're supposed to prove all things. Book, chapter, verse. Just like this damn dude that live over here in the wheelchair try to tell me his history predates the Bible. It was before the Bible. Everything in the Bible about the Hebrew Israelites is an imitation of his religion or his belief. Can you show proof? Oh, I don't need a book. I have the information in my head. But all information that was given in the earth, it had to be read, right? A lot of us want to put power in our own mind. Our mind is weak, right? You can't add in anything history if you don't have no proof to back it up. A proof is not only printing, show me a rock from 2,000 years ago. No, you can even have proof in writing predates that time, right? Your faith has to be measured. Some people don't even have this much faith, let alone this much. But even if you go and hear from here, it been measured. If your faith is like this and then it grew, you measure from here to here that your faith got extended, right? And that's what we want. That's what you should want. You want your faith to be extended, right? This is Hebrews 12 and 11 in the NLT. It says, no discipline is enjoyable while it is happening. It's painful. But afterward, there will be a peaceful harvest of right living for those who are trained in this way, right? Is a peaceful harvest of right living, right? That harvest is the kingdom. When Yahweh Shai come and deliver us, right? Redeem us physically. This is 2 Thessalonians chapter 1, verse 4 to 7. It says, in the NLT, it says, we probably tell the Most High's other churches about your endurance and faithfulness in all the persecutions and hardships you are suffering. And the Most High will use this persecution to show his justice and to make you worthy of his kingdom, for which you are suffering. In his justice, he will pay back those who persecute you. Right? We see in Luke, the Lord is going to avenge his elect. He's going to do it. You have to believe in it. Right? Before I keep going, can you guys hear me? Because we can pause this and I try to cool the phone down. I try not to leave the car on. Leave the AC on because I don't want it to blow, because my phone is right there. I don't want it to blow in there and y'all can't hear me. So can anybody hear me? Can anybody hear me? Real quick, can anybody hear me? I'm just saying, about time. Sometimes your brother will end the live if y'all can't hear. So this is Psalm 66, verse 10 and 12 in the KJV. It says, for thou, O power, hast proved us. Thou hast tried us as silver is tried. Thou hast tried us as silver is tried. Thou broughtest us into the net. Thou lettest affliction upon our loins. Thou hast caused men to ride over our heads. We went through fire and through water, but thou broughtest us into a wealthy place, right? So you got to know, testing leads to a refined and stronger state, right? The testing leads to a refined and stronger state. And guess what? What is the elect doing? Through the Spirit. This is why I like this Ephesians 4:22. Is it 22? Ephesians, I started at 22. It says that ye put off concerning the former conversation the old man, which is corrupt according to the deceitfulness, be renewed in the spirit of your mind, and that ye put on the new man, the Most High is created in righteousness and true holiness. You can only put on the new man if you are renewed in the spirit, right? Your heart has to be circumcised, and it's daily. Sometimes, and to sharpen that up, it's about the people you surround yourself with, right? Even more, like I'm around brothers that teach the same thing. Now, when I'm around people that don't teach the same thing, or if I'm around people in the world, I don't try to force this truth. right? Because the sheep, they're gonna get it. If I talk to somebody that's not in the same understanding, and then I'm telling him, no, that's incorrect, blah blah blah, and then he get it, guess what? We're gonna still build. But if he don't get it, every other conversation that deals with the scriptures is gonna come into content, and is gonna bring contention, right? It's the same for you women. If you around sisters that don't have the same understanding, don't force the same doctrine on them. Just keep saying the name Yahweh Shema Shai, all praises, but don't get into the understanding that you see and they don't. Let alone, you know, um, you know, it will change the relationship. That person can walk away like, man, that person always keep bringing up the MOTB, and I don't even see the MOTB. Guess what? When we grow in this faith, we have to have discernment and know the people that's teaching the same doctrine. You're gonna be a lot different, you know. Because they have the same, you should have the discernment. You know what? Let me not bring this up. Have the same, I don't know. Maybe the Lord don't want me to do the lesson. I don't know. Oh, sugars. Shalom, shalom. I still hear it going in and out. Shalom, shalom. I still hear it going in and out. I don't know what it is, y'all. Salaki, man. I don't know. I really don't know. I really don't know, y'all. Yeah, I don't know what it is. I don't know. So I guess I'm gonna just keep going. Salaki, especially for those that might just probably watching this right now. Salaki for the problems. Um, Sugars. I'll just keep going. If it keep messing up, I don't know. Just keep leaving, come back. I guess I don't know. This is Isaiah 48:10. It says, it says, "Behold, I will refine thee, but not with silver. I have chosen thee in the furnace of affliction." Right? The affliction is the furnace where endurance and purity, which endurance and purity are uh, forged, cleansed, sanctified, is going to be forged in those elect. Again, do you guys desire to be of the elect? Right? Do you desire to be of the elect? So you want to go into this fire. You want to be afflicted, which is this furnace, right? The trials of your faith. Your faith being tested is a good thing. That's a great thing, right? Don't look at it as a bad thing. It's a good thing, the things we go through. Moments when you feel like you're not in the spirit, right? That's the moment you're supposed to think of these lessons like, yo, dang, man, I'm having a trial right now. Instead of moping down, being sunk in a bed, sunk in your room or on a couch, you're supposed to be fighting, right? You're supposed to be fighting, man. Oh, I'm having a plague in the mind, and you doing all of this, but you moping, right? Yeah, you can be praying, right? You could do that too, but who's to say you really truly was praying? Because when you pray, you're supposed to really let the Lord handle it. When you pray, don't doubt, and then get up and be a new energy. Now, it's sometimes I might be mad, but guess what? Most of the time, even when I'm mad, if I know I'm reading and I'm doing a lesson, whatever I'm thinking about is not taken away from my faith, or uh, um, doing a lesson. I'm getting excited. I'm getting happy that thought is still here. But some of us can't function. We can't cook. I might not want to eat. I might not want to be around some people, right? You just all disbobulated, right? You can't even, especially us men, you can't do a lesson. Then that means, hey, you really need to do some evaluation. How much more you women go through something, then now you accusing people. Maybe you might be analyzing what somebody doing, but you got it all wrong. You might be looking at what somebody doing in your perspective, and you could probably be wrong as a woman, because your thoughts, your emotions and feelings, and most of the women, even men, we overthinkers. You might be overthinking this shit. And what is that? It's a whole spirit on your ass. Right? Let me get this real quick. See, I'm excited right now. Regardless of what that phone doing, I'm not about to let nobody stop me from what I have to do, man. I gotta feed the sheep. I got to. This is my excitement. And even if this thing gonna keep doing this, guess what? We gonna still keep pushing. I'm looking for Where is it? I don't want to have to look it up. Please, please. Where is it? Where is it? I see faith. I see it. Salaki, y'all. I'm trying to find it. Where is it? Where is it? I don't got a brother on the thing right now, so I'm gonna have to deal with what I got. Where is it? Oh man, I guess I'm gonna have to look it up. Yeah, I'm gonna have to look it up. Yep, I'm bugged out. This is and I was looking right at it. I just ignored it. This is 1 Timothy chapter 6, and I'm gonna start at verse 11. It says, "But thou, O man of God, flee these things and follow after righteousness, godliness, faith, love, patience, and meekness. Fight the good fight of faith. Lay hold on eternal life, whereunto thou art also called, and hast professed a good profession before many witnesses." This is a good profession. So fight the good fight of faith. Sometimes your fight might be against your mom or your cousin through the spirit. They bringing their bullshit, and that might be bothering you, and you don't want to be dealing with it. Maybe your cousin keep having the kid, have you watch the kids. Maybe you want to go do something, and none of your family members watching the children. Now I don't really go look out for somebody to babysit because how my house is, right? Say if I'm doing this with this person or my children or whatever, hey, guess what? You better man up and go watch them dang children. And that's another thing. Women that come in this faith, you gotta believe that the man that you dealing with, that Yahweh is dealing with him. No. Yeah. No. Not the man you dealing with, but I mean technically, yeah, but the man that you under. You have to believe that Yahweh Shema Shai dealing with him. And if you see that the Lord dealing with him, right, the more you gotta be at peace. Right? Yes, for him, but even for yourself, because our worst enemy is ourself. You can put yourself in a bad situation with your man, right? On how you acting, right? How you ordering around them kids. If you not disciplining them when they make a mistake, you always being soft on them, right? So again, manage your faith. Men, manage your faith. To fight this good fight of faith, right? You have to manage your faith. You have to maintain your faith. You have to maximize your faith. Now, if somebody commented, I can't see. Okay, no, it's good. You have to maximize and manage your faith, right? We got physical trials, right? By the other nations, ourselves, your peers, spiritual things, right? You can have a financial problem, and it might be messing with your mind, right? We supposed to really count on the Lord on everything, right? Now you might count on that, man. I'm down on some rent, and out of nowhere something happened, or a brother or a sister help out, right? But we not in this thing like, man, Lord, please drop 100,000. I mean, even though that would be amazing to handle certain things, but what is it? Be content with godliness, right? Let me get that. That's 1 Timothy 6:6. But godliness with contentment is great gain, right? We want to be content with godliness. Pray that godliness is faith. Faith in Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, right? Only the Lord can take this from us, man. Right? Let's get Job 23:10. This is Job 23:10. It says, "But he knoweth the way that I take. When he hath tried me, I shall come forth as gold. My feet have held his steps, and his way have I kept and not declined." Guess what? If you keep the ways of Yahweh Shema Shai, it's really the Lord doing that. Because the Lord knows your heart. He knows you faithful. He allowed to test Job because he knew that Job wasn't gonna fade out this thing. Man, yeah, go test him. That's a faithful servant of mine. While you getting tested, the Lord knows if you too weak enough. Don't you know some of us deal with certain problems longer than most, where we afflicted and we can't get over whatever problems we got, you still thinking about it a whole week from now. Didn't even try to find any comfort. So now we got that. Let's go to this next point. Okay, let's go back to James. We're gonna do this. We're gonna just stay in the other translation just to keep it quick. This is James chapter 1, verse 6 to 8 in the NLT. It says, "But when you ask him, be sure that your faith is in the Most High alone. Do not waver, for a person that divided, for a person with divided loyalty is as unsettled as a wave of the sea that is blown and tossed by the wind." Come on, man. See, those that have divided loyalty, Yahweh and Yahweh Shemashai in the world, you're compared to a wave of the sea, right? Tossed to and fro, man. It says such people should not expect to receive anything from Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. So if you serve in the world, you of this world, right? Don't think you're gonna get shit, man. And guess what? It's scary on this side. Scary because we believe in the Lord, man. To be taking out this truth, you don't want to hear the word. You're not a part of it, right? It's a part. Yo, this is why I tell myself, like, well, conversations I'm having in my house, conversation with myself, conversations I'm having with my brother, right? When I leave the house and I'm doing my own thing, am I leaving with intentions of the world, or am I still gonna take that banner of the truth? Am I gonna look like it, right? Sometimes I leave the house and have my own peace for me, and I say, man, Lord willing, wherever I'm at, please allow somebody to ask a question. I be wanting it, wanting it. And most of the time, because people not seeing me on the main street, or they not seeing me on Facebook doing lives, they be like, man, you still teaching? Yeah. Oh, I don't see you on Facebook no more. Because Facebook, that's a damn demon, and I'm following under what I'm following under what the apostle said. Let alone, uh, you can get a whole lot of back and forth on there. So yes, I remove myself from it. If you really want to get edited from YouTube, if not, don't look for me. You know what I'm saying? Hey, what you worried about what I'm doing, right? So again, such people should not expect to receive anything from Yahweh Shem Yahushai. So if you stuck in a hard place, because I call that a hard place. You 1 minute you trying to serve the Lord, but then you in the world. Imagine those that's fully in the world. Guess what? That motherfucker, excuse my language, that motherfucker is no better than somebody that's fully in the world, right? Verse 8, it says, their loyalty is divided between the Most High and the world, and they are unstable in everything they do. Come on, man. This right here, I'm at work and it hit me. I said, I don't think I'm gonna do a lesson on this today, but it just hit me because I had to do a quick reading on my break. And I seen that and I'm like, no freaking way, man. Right? So you don't want to be unstable. You don't want to be a busybody. My loyalty here, but then my loyalty there. Right? Guess what? You're unstable in everything that you do. You damn busybody. Right? You're not even you're not confident in your faith. Somebody confident in their faith is not tossing to and fro in every damn circle of wind. Right? Let's go to Matthew. Matthew 6 and 24. It says, no man can serve two masters, for either he will hate the one and love the other, or else he will hold to the one and despise the other. You cannot serve God and mammon, right? That mammon is money. On this side, what do you think Esau about to push? Right? I think the lesson that I'm Lord willing to upload after this, right, is gonna go into mammon. Right? That MOTB is you gotta pick and you gotta choose today. Because the number one thing pushed is money on this side. Outside of the truth is being pushed bigger than anything on the earth. but only for a select few. That's why it's way bigger than anything being pushed on the earth, right? Because it's really for the few. And this truth don't we don't need 1,000 people in a camp, right? You can add, guess what? You can have, just imagine, or just say all the camps that's in this truth, and they was all teaching the same thing, even if they had different names. That word gonna go out. IUIC, you got 1,000 of these men, and half of them not even teaching. Actually, all of them, I mean, majority of them not teaching. You got a select few in your camp teaching. So imagine what more can be done with each lesson if all 1,000 of those men that are capable and understand the scriptures to go teach. Right? We here to do the Lord's work. Right? Let's get another one. Let's get another classic in 1 John 2 and 15.